Hey everybody, I'm Bryan Miranda, welcoming you back for part 2 of my interview with Princess Blades. This part will be discussing family, autism, and that cunt Kathy Hochul. So please enjoy part 2 of my interview with Princess Blades and a journey of a California girl.
It's funny, me and my mom have a really bad relationship. I hate her. I don't have mommy issues, right, at all. It's just she has screwed me over. Being a mother, you would think you would have that motherly love to want to always make sure your kid's okay and lead them in the right direction. But my mom is such a screwed up individual where she would use me to make her life better. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
And if you actually look at mothers who hate their daughters, it's a real thing, right? She's put me in jail. She's done a lot of things. She turned my older son against me. She's got my 18-year-old, son against me. She's manipulative, all the above. But when we were going through our stuff, but we were barely talking here and there, right? I'd be like, oh, shit. Like, you know how you get that thing where it's like, oh my god, hold on, I gotta get the pizza that's in the oven, right? You know how you get that feeling? Sometimes that's when it'll come up and I'll be like, oh my god, let me call my mom, right? Or let me text my mom. Yo, is everything okay? She's like, yes, Christina, everything's okay. And then we finally got along for maybe 2 days, like 2 whole days. That is cute, right? And she was like, you know what's crazy? She's like, every single time you call, she was like, there was really something that was going on. Like her dad came to me and told me that her mom was about to die, right? And this is before I was initiated. And I could tell my mom, you need to forgive your mom and you need to be out there because these are her last days, and she's apologized. And that's your mom, never leave on bad terms, and she didn't. And I thought I was tripping out because there was a bird giving me, like, it wasn't talking to me like me and you were talking, it was subconsciously, like, talking to me. And I mentioned to her, there's this right here, there's that right there, there's this in this drawer, there's this and that. And my mom went over there, she's like, holy shit, Christina. And I'm like, what? She's like, everything you told me is exactly where it is. So she brought all of it back to me, right? And then she's very money hungry, right? So when she found out that her mom did not leave her a damn thing, guess what she did? She just went to go view the body, didn't even stay for her funeral, and then her and her sister went to go party, right?
Was it a cardinal by any chance?
No, it was just a regular, the cardinal stand for it. It was in Colorado, so it was like, it's just those little brown birds.
Okay.
I swear to God, I was going crazy. I'm like, these birds are talking to me. And it's like, who am I going to go tell? Like, they're going to think I'm crazy, right? But the spiritual...
What have you taken, lady?
Right, exactly. And you know what? I'll smoke weed here and there, right? I'm even sensitive to that too, right? Like when I drink, I don't mess with anything else because my whole thing is, it's like, I'm not trying to weekend, you know what I mean? So, but it was funny because my mom, because of the negativity, and she went there for money, for greed, and then a vase fell over, and then a nasty smell came up, and then I seen the shadow walk right behind her. I was like, you guys better leave. I was like,
They're coming for ya. It's coming for ya.
Exactly. All her mom wanted was to make amends and not fucking die alone. You know what I'm saying? And I tell my mom all the time, you're an evil person. You're evil, and she has the nerve to tell my kids, well, I wasn't there for my mom when she died, and it's okay if you don't like your mom. But the reason why, my older son and my 18-year-old, right, me and them have a weird relationship is because my mom, how do I say, she's very manipulating. And what she does is, I give my kids love. I don't buy their love. They use her for that. You know what I mean? And she's really good at, she's one of the mean girls, right? But she'll sit there and be like, oh, it's okay. I didn't get along with my mom, and my mom died. I still don't care. She's making my kids think that.
That's fucked up.
It is beyond fucked up. Beyond fucked up. Like, I don't know if my son Isaac is ever going to come back out here and visit me again. I've had many visions of him getting killed out there. That is why I pushed to move out of Colorado. Colorado is becoming a very dangerous place. His best friend was murdered out there. His best friend showed me the whole vision of how he was killed. My own mom said if he moves back to Colorado, he'll probably die. And guess what? She got him the plane ticket and letting him drive without a license, all the above.
Jesus.
But I'm the bad person because I was the mom. And because I had to be the mom and the dad and tell them yes, no, blah, blah, blah. And then she buys a car behind my back for my older son that was dropping out of school and, doing drugs. And I'm the mom where it's like, no, you're going to earn the car. You're going to do this. You're going to do that. So, yeah. So, I have a heavy heart, not knowing if I'm going to bury my son one day because I did everything to get him out of that because it's very heavily drug infested.
Yeah, Colorado's becoming very bad with the fucking shit that's going down there.
Colorado, I mean, you know what? I blame the OGs for that. I'm going to tell you straight out. I was, heavily involved in that life. I was never, put it this way, I'm not a follower, okay? I never was jumped into a game because I will never be someone's bitch. I'm sorry. I hung out with a lot of them, but a lot of them were lost. I would talk to them just to talk to them. You know what I mean? But I blame all the stuff that's happening around the world right now on the OGs because that is their job to train their little homies, their little gangsters, whatever, on the code, regulations, what not to do. And where the fuck are the OGs at? Half of them are PC'd up. It's like, they're all like, oh, I don't want that part of life anymore. But it's like, okay, but you just jumped this youngster in here. He's going around, shooting women, raping kids. That's not how we do that. But Alaska's different than any other neighborhood.
They just jump some kid in there and I'm leaving. Well, no, you're on your own, kid. Sorry.
I mean, you got kids killing kids now. Back in the day, they would have got their ass whooped. But Hispanic gangs are different than freaking black gangs, Asian gangs, freaking.
They all kind of ran by the same code. Now they only run by their own set of rules, I'm guessing.
Yeah. Now you got, you used to be a gangster selling drugs. Now they're on drugs, selling drugs, and using their own drugs. Like, what the fuck?
Well, it used to be like they ran their own code. They took care of stuff the right way. And they also kept their mouths quiet. Now it's almost like they advertise every move they fucking make.
Yeah, they put shit on Facebook. So-and-so just robbed this store. If you see him, can you let me know? Like, the fuck? Like, run up on him and whoop his ass and let him know, like, hey, this is not how we conduct things, I always tell people, there's a difference between a thug and a gangster, okay? A thug is someone who's...
Wannabe.
No, those are the ones you have to worry about, right? A thug is the one that's out there trying too hard, okay? Breaking all the rules, doped up on their own shit, has no respect for themselves or others, okay? And it makes, they don't have a job, they're living off their high net, freaking all kinds of stuff. A gangster doesn't have to say a damn thing. They walk into a room, and people can be talking shit. They don't need to say anything, but they have money, they have a job, they have a family, but they have respect, but they don't have to say anything because everybody already knows what's going to happen. There's a difference. So you can, all these kids that are out here popping up thinking they're hardcore, this, that, and that, that doesn't make you look more cool. You get what I'm saying? And I always say, the fast life is going to make it end even faster. That's why I said, if you want to be respected as a man, then do what a man's supposed to do. Do everything people think you're not freaking capable of doing. Because I guarantee you, my family never thought I'd still be here today, and I proved them all wrong. Because I was the black sheep of the family, because I was a troublemaker, because I was the one that didn't listen. You told me to do something, I do the opposite. I was the one that had neck tattoos, freaking chest tattoos before they were even accepted in California.
Now everybody out and their mother's tattooed out in California.
I did it on purpose, because it's like, well, you don't like it? All right, check this out. Because I'm going to fuck what you like, because here's my thing, I'm not your puppet.
How many tattoos do you have?
So my back's halfway done, my chest, my stomach, my arms, I got leg pieces, thigh pieces, my eyebrows. Those are the eyebrows. But I'm about to get 2 fallen angel tattoos right here. You know, and that's another reason why I don't want to go into the medical field, because it's like
They wouldn't accept that.
Like, look the way you want me to look, like, you know what I'm saying? It's like I'm gonna be who I am because this is my life, and when I take my last breath, I want to say this is what I did, not what this person wanted me to do or that person wanted me to do. This is my life, and I've changed my life tremendously for my kids. You know what I mean? And for myself. And that's why I love doing what I do. I love talking to people. I love meeting people. Before I didn't care, Now it's just like, I'll sit right next to a homeless person. I did maybe about 2-3 months ago, and gave him some cigarettes, got him some water, some food. And I told him, I was like, hey bro, just want to let you know I'm proud of you. And I said, all these cars that are passing by, I said, you're stronger than them. He's like, no. I was like, believe it. I said, you are. Because none of them would ever know how to ever sit in this spot or stand in your shoes. I said, so you have one up on them. I said, but you're going to make it one day. I said, but I want you to know you at least have one person that's in your corner and a person that fucking believes in you. And that's how I always boost everybody up. Because it takes one person to believe in you to change a life or to save a life.
Now, you mentioned your kids having disabilities. Was that hard, raising children with disabilities?
Yes, because back in the day, being a single parent also, right?
Yeah.
It was one of those things where autism wasn't really recognized. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's become more aware now.
Well, ever since Jenny McCarthy and freaking, all the, famous people, they're like, oh yeah, there's autism. It's like, bitch, it's been here for a while. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I put so much into my son, like he used to bang his head. I mean, it was so bad. I would hand out cards from Autism Speaks, right? While I'm restraining my son at the grocery store, right? And they're like, oh my God, you can't control your kid. Versus me whooping their ass, I handed them a card to say, if you'd like to learn more about my son's behavior, please visit autismspeaks.org. You know what I mean? In California, hands down, has the best services. Hands down. My son would swim with dolphins for his sensory. You know what I mean? He would not be the person he was. I mean, they threw services at me. I am unbelievably, motherfucking, so I can say bad words.
Mm-hmm.
Unbelievable, how do I say? I am so pissed off with New York because all over the internet, mental health, medicine, looking at PDD, fuck that. I have not had one service for my son since I got stationed here since October of 2020. And then they still want to sit there and blame COVID. Really?
COVID was like 4 or 5 years ago.
Exactly. And I'm just like, so I went after Kathy Hochul. And I hope to God she loses her job. She has absolutely no business being in any kind of government. And she needs to just go work at Walmart and be a greeter. She is ruined.
Be a greeter at Walmart.
No, I'm being honest with you. Because her thing is like, oh my God, let's make Western New York a better place again. And, I wanted to go for the military guy, but this hormonal chick is sitting there fixing what she wants to fix or fixing what she feels is going to give her more pain, but not listening to the voices of parents or individuals of what needs to be fixed. Just because a person's disabled doesn't mean they should not have a quality of... Hold on. I hope you're having a good day. I'm having a great day. Thank you, Google. No, Google, thank you. So, my thing is, being disabled or not, you should still have a good quality of life. You know what I mean? My thing is, and I don't care who I offend, okay? Sex offenders, okay? Kathy Hochul is approving sex offenders to get, for their gender to get in jail, okay? They are setting up housing projects just for sex offenders and all the above, okay?
Where I think in what state is it? California. I think in California they have them live under a fucking bridge, if I'm not mistaken. Or is that Florida? I forgot what state it is where they take all the registered sex offenders and they stick them in like a fucking trailer park home there. They get them like out in the middle of nowhere in a trailer park, away from society.
So Lancaster Prison pastor, right? There is a bus. They drop them off right there on Sierra Highway, right? And you see all these little chomos getting off the bus. And we'd all be parked across the street and we would freeze paintball guns and we'd be like, right? I say this because the person was caught. I'm not going to say names. And do I feel like he should have done time? Absolutely not. This guy raped a 7-year-old disabled child at church, okay, in the actual piano room. Soundweiser, all kinds of stuff, okay? And he was staying at his mom's house in apartments where he wasn't allowed to stay, right? Now, Rasta doesn't get along with that, okay? They curb checked him. I watched his mouth just go, like, all the way. I had not one emotion, because you know what? Everybody's sitting there crying over this guy being dead on the sidewalk.
How about that little girl?
What about what she's going to go through for the rest of her life? What about all the fucking kids that are going to sit there and be, like, haunted for the rest of their life? And they turn into criminals because of the hate, because their lives never felt like it was important enough to protect, while they're sitting there rehabilitating all of these child molesters, right? I hope they all die. I wish death upon all of them.
Well, I mean, that is the same shit that the fucking Catholic Church was fucking covering up for fucking years and years and years. You know, Sinead O'Connor got fucking crucified back in the 90s for ripping up the picture of the Pope. Well, that's the reason why she did that in the first place. Because they knew about the shit that was going on with the church 10 years before it hit the States. And nobody said anything about it. Like, it was known in other countries that they were doing this shit, and it was basically being covered up. We didn't find out about it until, like, later on.
Kind of Boy Scouts and stuff like that.
And she said, basically, she came out and said, if it wasn't because I did what I did, I could have been a fucking billionaire by now with the million of records she sold, and she had the big following and shit, too. She's like, no, that's way more important than fucking making money.
I mean, you gotta realize, it's like they're their own organization. It's just like, you know what I think is ironic? I like to think outside of the box, right? The whole P. Diddy thing that's going on, right? The fires that happened in California, I lived there for so many years, has never touched even half of where it touched. And they said, you know, they're man-made fires. Hey, guess what? P. Diddy's house is burnt. Everybody's house is burnt now. So there's a lot of evidence that's no longer there. Boom. I'm just saying. So Hillary was involved in it. Freaking Obama was involved in it. You know, with, you know, what is it called? The panda effect shit. You know what I mean? I mean, it was funny because when Bill Clinton tried to pull out of it, he ended up sick in the hospital. If you actually watched, what is it called? You know, when Trump, you know, switched over.
Yeah.
I forgot the word. If you look at Hillary, which is evil as fuck.
Well, even like with the whole thing with, you know, Obama and Hillary, fucking Obama was the first one in the beginning fucking bashing her when he was going against her, but as soon as she was running, all of a sudden he was like her best fucking friend, if you took note to that.
And they were on, what is that, Epstein's Island?
They claimed Epstein was actually a plant from the CIA that they did that to try to catch these people. Because they said they found like $70 million of unclaimed fucking money that they didn't fucking know. This guy made his money. How the fuck do you make his money? They said that it was a plant to try to get these fucking people caught.
Come on, what's that one singer? Not Justin Timberlake. What's the other guy?
Bieber?
Yeah, I mean, he came out. They showed videos of him. Like, oh, I can't feel my body, you know, and stuff like that. And, you know, all kinds of stuff. I mean, there's a lot of leaked videos that a lot of you guys probably haven't seen, and you know, it's just sad because now Beyonce and Jay-Z are crowned in Ocha in Santeria. How the fuck did she get the Best Country Grammy Award? I have never heard a country song come from her. Have you ever heard a country song come from Beyonce?
No.
Lemonade definitely was not country. Okay.
I mean, it has happened before, even with the Beyonce winning the award thing. It's happened before bands have gotten fucked over. I remember Metallica, when they were running for the best metal record, they gave it to Jethro Tull, who's never been fucking metal. So right there shows you the Grammys know what the fuck they're doing.
I'm just saying a lot of stuff that goes behind stuff. So I actually did a few photo shoots with Playboy.
Yeah.
I was quite a bit. Okay, and that's all I'm gonna say. There's a lot of things that are secrets. You know what I mean? Not saying I was involved in anything, and I put that on my kids, 100%. But I'm glad I was kind of like, I didn't fully go that route. Because I'm also not one of those type of women where I'm like, oh my god, let me get on my knees so I can become somebody. No.
Well, that's the one, like, Holly Madison was sitting there, she was dating him for how many fucking years, all of a sudden he passed away. Oh my god, he did this shit to me. Well, you didn't complain about it fucking when you were with him, what the fuck?
But you gotta understand, right? Where you have one powerful man, you're gonna have another powerful man, and then another one, right? And that's, and how, okay, so it got me publicity, right? Then I started with La Jefe, right? Red Rose Mafia, it's a Chicana sister, modeling crew. And then I used to do the, what is it called? I still could do it, but I don't want to get into that. I'm going to end up getting an attitude. But I do the Loretta shows in Vegas, I miss modeling. I love it. I absolutely love it, I don't think that a woman's body fully nude is, sexy. I like suicide poses, right? Or it makes you, have a... trying to find a picture. So, like, I have these up. I don't know, can you see that?
Yeah.
So it's not that pretty much is...
Suggestive.
Going to involve nude strip club, okay? Because some of them should not be working there.
It's like a bad fishing trip. They don't sell booze. People go with the case with, like, beer and shit. Like, it's fucking, yeah.
I see a lot of botched shit that look like that. And I'm just like,
even like here in Buffalo, you see some of the strippers. How the fuck did you get a job there? I see some of you. There's strippers. I'm expecting like fucking, like these like hot Playboy models up on stage, like you see in like Entourage. You go in there like, what the fuck? How did you become a stripper? You're like 200 pounds. What the fuck?
The worst is in Missouri. I've never seen a one-armed stripper. And she was holding on to the pole with that nub. I was like, get it, girl. I gave her money because I was just like, this is like a circus show. But, I mean, I'm not against strippers because it's like, you know what? If you're going to play those fools and they're going to fall into that trap, then get it, girl. But have respect for yourself. You get what I mean?
I was talking with one of my guests. I'm not going to say his name. He was talking about some of the strip clubs over the years he's been to. He said there's like 2 cities that he enjoyed going to. The rest of them were just average. And that's all over the country.
So Vegas is good, California is amazing, Philly is good, right? It makes you want to go get a BBL every time.
I've heard New Orleans is okay.
I mean, they really can make their ass clap, and I'm just like, damn, when they sing Happy Birthday, do they all just like, I'm like, I don't know.
Well, where did you fucking get your stripper training from, first of all? That's what I want to fucking know.
No, I mean, I think, you know what, okay, so this is going to be a little sexist, okay? Because you have a lot of men that disrespect women, right? I feel that a woman, if you have what it takes, and if these guys are dumb enough to take it, to fucking work their shit. You know what I mean? But have respect for yourself. Because if you're in the back, fucking snorting coke and fucking them, then you just, and you're in here nothing but another, like, little floozy. Like, so I look at it as, be the main bitch, be that bitch. Be the bitch that knows that, you can dance, for them all day long. You can take their money all day long, but they all know that you're hands off.
Well, I remember I used to hang out with a couple of the strippers at the clubs. Used to go up there, and they would warn me, that one's cool, stay away from that one definitely stay away from,
Yep. So, I don't know, and then it's like, they all claim stuff, they don't get paid, and they're like, oh my god, I mean, they look, I don't know, they'll be like, oh my god, he made me do coke, or you got mad because you're too coked out, and then he got mad because he couldn't fill any.
Well, did you hear about that fucking dude, that strip club owner that got arrested, sex trafficking?
I don't believe it.
We went in there one night. We were like 19 years old. We went in there. The fucking front door person asked me for a cigarette. Didn't even check our IDs. They just let us walk in there because she was hanging out with some fucking dude. I don't know what the fuck they were doing. They was just looking for a cigarette. So they were like distracted. We walked in there, sat down, didn't bother anybody or whatever the fuck. Like, how old are you? How old are you? He like gave us an attitude and like kicked us out of the fucking club. But it's like, you want to kick us out of the club, but you're doing what you're doing. You got bigger problems to worry about than a couple 19-year-olds having a couple drinks, spending money in your fucking establishment.
So, in regards to that, I heard a little bit about it, right? I don't believe it because I know how women can be too. All they gotta do is, play the rape card because they got pissed off, and then, because they're not getting what they want or whatever, and then the owner goes, okay, so mind you, I'm a mother of 4 boys, okay? I have to protect them from females also, okay? Because look, you got 13-year-old women out, girls out here that look like they're 30, very mature.
Yeah, you gotta watch it, yeah.
And she's wearing orthopedic shoes. I mean, I'm just saying, like, half of them look older than me, and they're 13 years old. So the thing is, are you going to ID every, 30, 40-year-old, 13-year-old? You know what I'm saying? You don't sit there and say, let me see what I do before we have sex.
Or like on that South Park episode, I need you to sign this consent form before everybody hands their consent forms in, like...
And then you gotta realize, going back to that, to that strip club, those girls could have been using fake IDs. You know what I mean? So do I put it completely on that actual club? I spiritually don't feel it, and I don't feel it because of the facts that I've read about, you know what I mean? And I know how the generation is changing, and I know how women can also take advantage of men. I see both sides. You know what I mean?
Especially like the Me Too movement kind of really fucking, with some of the stuff that came out too. A lot of people with false accusations and everything.
I never what is that?
That's when they said, oh, I was raped by so-and-so too, and the whole fucking Bill Cosby and the Weinstein thing. I mean, that stuff was going on. I knew a woman that worked with Weinstein. Because a lot of people don't realize this, and I've mentioned this on previous shows. His star came here in Buffalo. He went to school here in Buffalo to start his film career. Like his production company was in Buffalo. He financed his production company by running shows here in Buffalo, concerts. And I worked with a woman. She used to own Kleinhans. And I asked her. I said, this was right after it started coming up. I said, did you ever work with him? She goes, I worked with him one time. He said he walked in his office one time. Creepiest fucking vibe I got off that motherfucker. He was the creepiest motherfucker I've ever dealt with in my life. And this was before he was even any fucking body. And then hearing stories about how he would have women, do things for tickets and do stuff like this. So he was kind of pulling that shit back when he was in like his 20s before he even got started even making his first film.
Well, okay, I'm on both sides of this, okay? How I look at it is you have women that are conned into things, okay? Then you have women that are infatuated with the money, and then something doesn't go right, or it gets too real, and then they have to go and cry wolf.
Kind of like the whole McMahon thing that's going on right now, too, with the whole lawsuit thing with Vince and the whole thing. She wanted, $2 million, and he's like, well, wait on until after, this event, I'll give you your $2 million. Well, no, I want it now, and he wouldn't do it. And as soon as she snapped her fingers, so then she went to the fucking media and exposed the messages.
But my whole thing is, look, at the end of the day, Buffalo, it's hard to make money, okay? It is very hard. You have to know someone and know someone and know someone and know someone. I'm not one of them. I'm not kissing anybody's ass. I'm not asking for any handouts. Okay? I am not going to be someone's bitch and be nice to them while I'm being disrespected. I will earn my respect. You will respect me one day because there's no reason for you to not disrespect me. I'm not stepping on your toes, but I'll be damned for you to step on mine. You know what I mean? But the whole thing is, Buffalo is a small place. Okay, and I'm sorry, I'm going to say this again, New York is so behind, okay? It's like 10 years behind California, you know what I mean? Or from the West Coast. Everything starts from West and it goes straight to the, to the East Coast, right? Not saying it's a beautiful place, right? But for you to be somebody and be able to actually take care of a family out here, it's hard, okay? Because when someone opens up a business, guess what? They're going to hire all of their cousin, aunties, fucking second, you know what I mean? And then, what I'm against, honestly, right now, people are like, get the Mexicans out of here. Like, yeah, okay, you got some dangerous Mexicans, which, there's dangerous white people and black people and fucking, Asian people, all kinds of shit, you know what I mean? But I don't see one white person out there fucking picking corn or fucking, doing shit like that. But the whole thing is, they don't want jobs that are going to pay under the table shit money for funny thing is, everybody's like, oh, we're going to get our jobs back. You know.
What jobs are you going to get back? There are no fucking jobs right now.
That's what I'm saying. Who's going to do that job for freaking, minimum wage, And it's like, get our jobs back? How about you tell them to actually pay people decent? You know what I mean? It's like, okay, I was working for, I'm not going to say anything. While my barbershop was picking up, I was working for a place for disabled people. I have a big heart for disabled people in general. Okay, young, old, doesn't matter. Okay, because every day they wake up, they have to fight to be accepted by the regular generation that should already be adapted to know how to deal with people, on certain spectrums of autism and so on and so forth. Okay? There's no mental health services, there's nothing. I was mandated, I had to contact a person in, the higher chain, and I was told that I had to report something. They fired me because I reported abuse that was happening to an individual, and it broke my heart. And it's like, I wonder what else they did.
They hide a lot of shit, yeah.
Well, I'm not the one. Because I went on Channel 7 News for my son, all kinds of shit. You know what I mean? And I don't care, because I'll be the first one to point out, like, you know what, you're fucking up. Because if you don't give me a reason to say something, I'm not going to say something.
Well, even like with the covering up shit, like if something fucked up happened, I don't understand why a lot of these places, they cover their shit up. Like, I mean, if somebody's doing something fucked up and you catch them, that's not on the company. It's like, okay, we had no idea about this. We took care of it right there. To me, you look like bigger fucking assholes covering it up than just, dealing with the issue.
And then not to mention, over somebody that is not verbally able to stand up for themselves.
Or say anything that's happening, which are the easiest victims.
We are there for. The situation happened in a public place. An older lady grabbed me by the shirt. She's like, excuse me, do you work there? I was like, yes, ma'am, I do. She's like, and you guys treat people like that? I said, no, ma'am, I don't. I said, no, we handle, don't worry. I remember my son, Felix, I put him in a private school in California, right? An autistic, epileptic son.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought it was going to be better, whole private school, he's going to get more one-on-one, blah, blah, right? A teacher stuck a pencil in his ear, busted his eardrum, and then had the nerve to sit there and tell me that he hit his head on the side of a water fountain. Mind you, I know he was nonverbal, so I had to go based off of his body language. So I know my son. I could just look
Can he hear what you're saying? He can hear, but he can't talk? Or
I call it movie talking. It's called echolalia, right? But it's not like they really talk like me and you. They talk. My son talks to himself as a third person. You know what I mean? So it's broken language. Okay? Back then, he didn't have language. He'd be like, he'll go like that. And I would have to sit there and I'd be like, cut, say cut, just to teach him. So I did a lot. But I did not give up. And I was just like, well, the next day, because he fell asleep on my chest, right? My shirt was covered in blood.
from his ear.
Okay, so, and my thing is, I didn't see a bump on his head like this. He would bang his freaking head to the point where, why would he cry if he barely tapped his head on the water fountain? Like, he hit his head there several damn times, right? So my stepdad, because I had to go to work, took him to the doctor. CPS was called, all the above, because it was head injury.
Yeah.
And they said his eardrum was busted. Went back to the school. And I pretty much threatened everybody at that school. That was when I was back in my wild, don't give a fuck days, right? And their dad was still in prison at this time. He was actually about to get out within 2 weeks or something. The school, the teacher assistant told me what happened. And the teacher was frustrated, saying she didn't get paid enough to take care of a special needs child. Special needs child, and then held him and jabbed a pencil in his ear to the point he still had the freaking the red ear, right? So then the grocery store that we're always shopping at, we seen her working with disabled adults. So what did I do? I went and I told my ex, I was like, yo, said she's scared. Put Felix in the car. We beat her ass, slammed her against the window, bloody. And I said, apologize to my son, bitch. And fucking dropped her right there and fucking drove off. You fuck with someone's kid.
Well, the thing a lot of people notice with those private schools, they say they're better. They're actually worse because you don't need to have the qualifications that you need for an actual school. Like, I got a bachelor's degree. Me or I don't know. Do you have a degrees of any storm or?
I'm an associate.
Like, I think it's like a bachelor's or an associate's degree to take the work there. So me or you could fucking do that too. So it's not like they're checking anybody that's even a fucking teacher.
In California, you don't even need a teaching credential, right? Half of them don't even do backgrounds. So when I was going through, mediation.
I was shocked when I found that out, actually.
So a lot of them aren't teachers. But then you gotta pay all this money for people who don't even know the hell they're fucking.
Yeah, that's like taking my car to like a big fucking expensive garage where you got guys that don't know what the fuck they're doing. Yeah, that makes a lot of fucking sense.
Yeah. Like, I'm only freaking tightened the nut on the fucking tire. I don't know how to change the oil. Like, okay, dumbass, what are you doing there? And then it's funny because I'm looking at all these jobs, and it's like, you need a bachelor's to be a receptionist.
Yeah, but not a fucking teacher. Okay. Like, should that be like one of the most important fucking jobs in town? But then you hear these people about all teachers need to be paid more and all this other shit. Well, half them aren't even qualified.
New York wants you to get certified or a license for everything because it's all about money.
You need to have a certification to cut hair. But this fucker doesn't need a certification to teach your child.
Here's the thing. You need a certification to even wash somebody's hair because water is considered as a chemical. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
Out here, okay, so I'm not down in any barbers, okay?
No.
All my barbers, I just don't like the legality of it, right? I went to school for, I actually, like I told you, started in Delaware, okay? I did 800 hours out there, and then they made me restart in Colorado, okay? And then I had over 900, going on 1,000 hours at the first school. Then I went to Paul Mitchell, right? And then I started over again. So I have
So those credits don't transfer.
Hours. Yeah, and then I did a transfer over program to the barbering and did 1,800 hours. If you Google how many hours it takes to become a barber, it says it is completely up to the actual instructor. It could be as less as 200 fucking hours.
Wow, I could be a barber in a fucking month.
Hey,
You think of
200 hours. Like, dude, you can't even break a bad habit in fucking 200 hours.
about 2 months, a regular 9 to 5, say 9 to 5, fucking, that's like 2 months.
There you go. So, and then, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, you know what? As far as all the barbers and cosmetologists out here, I want them to be the best they can be. You know what I mean? I just want the unity to come together, okay? And for us to not be against each other, okay? Because it makes them look like a bitch, and it makes them look like a Mitch, okay? Because my thing is, if you are not, what is the word? You have to be confident in yourself, okay? If you feel that you have to talk about someone every day, down that person, say, oh, don't mess with that person, or that, as you're dealing with some internal shit that you may need to see a doctor before you start.
Why are you so obsessed with this person?
Yeah.
What happened to you? Get a psychiatrist. Go see somebody.
So my thing is like, you're busy always talking about somebody. Maybe you need to look at yourself in the mirror because clearly that person is doing something right if their name's always in your mouth. It makes you look lower as a person. You know what I mean? One thing that I wanted to touch on, as far as Western New York, the city of good neighbors, bullshit.